Welcome back to preview Saturday's Premier League match between Chelsea and Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. Barney starting with the home side. Crazy defeat at Spurs last time out.
Yeah, it was a great game, wasn't it? Probably the best of the season so far. 5-3 to Tottenham. Mourinho came out after the match and he blamed the officials partly for the defeat, but in truth, his side they deserved to be beaten. It was a great game. Tottenham played so well. Harry Kane in particular. Chelsea just couldn't handle Cahill. Had a tough time against him. So it was a bit of a wake-up call maybe for Chelsea because they've been playing so well this season, and everyone had them as champions elect for a long time throughout the season, but they've just let things slip a bit now. That Tottenham game, disappointing defeat, and then they did bounce back in the FA Cup against Watford 3-0, really good result. But in the Premier League, they need to get back in gear because Man City are catching them.
I think it was defensively was the most strange thing, wasn't it? They've been so good, strong this season at the back. Terry and Cahill and Azpilicueta and Ivanovic at the back been so solid. I mean, Philip Luis can't get in the team at the moment, but you can see 5 goals, especially at Spurs, who can be a bit hit and miss at home, but. I mean, like I say, a festive period for Chelsea. You said they meant bounce back in the FA Cup, which is important, but Premier League is the bread and butter. And it's been, they drew at Southampton, didn't they? Might have won that game, and they went 1-0 down there, and Hazard scored. But I think Hazard has been, in this run, he's been a star, isn't he? And there's the contract situation, with him at the moment. Real Madrid are preparing a bid. Apparently, they don't want to let him go. But he needs other players around him. Players like Schürrle and Willian and people like that have not really sort of played as well as they can do at certain stages, and it's really important this game from the bounce back.
Yeah, the pressure's starting to go on Chelsea for the first time really this season. That third goal they get against Tottenham was meaningless in the manner of the whole game, but actually kept them top. That was the only goal that kept them top. If they'd lost 5-2, they would have dropped below City. But now they're level on points on everything: points, goal difference, goals scored, goals against. If the season ended today, then it would be a playoff between the top two, which would be quite interesting. So the pressure's really on them. Man City are really gathering ahead of steam, and Chelsea need to get a bit of momentum again, I think now.
City, like I say, City 11 on points. They play Everton, go to Everton on Saturday as well. And Chelsea go up against the Newcastle side, who are still without a manager. Obviously, Pardew left. The situation around that's quite strange, isn't it? The way he's gone to Palace is a strange thing. Something's obviously gone on there. I think Mike Ashley, the owner, has come out and said he won't rush the managerial decision, which is important. I think John Carver's obviously in charge at the moment. He knows the club, but it'll be interesting to see what they do, and the new manager coming in might have to deal with the Sissoko situation. He's been their star man this season, hasn't he? He's been unbelievable, and I think he could play for any team in the Premier League. He's that good. But talk of him going to PSG with Kabay coming back, I think if they did let Sissoko go, they'd have to get Kabay back because obviously the fans would revolt, wouldn't they? And I think Newcastle were really careful because as soon as they get a good player, they tend to sell him, don't they? They've done it all like with Kabay to PSG. So it's interesting times with Newcastle.
Yeah, you mentioned Carver there. He was in charge for the last 2 games in the Premier League. That was a crazy game against Burnley. Conceded lead 3 times, I think, in the 3-3 draw. He's got to keep hold of leads against the team struggling against relegation. If you're pushing on, sure, they probably outside ambitions for Europe, but maybe not. They'll be hoping for a top half finish probably at best this season. So against Burnley, you should be winning those games, especially when you take the lead so often. Be disappointed to do that, and then against Leicester, the only team below Burnley in the league at the moment, they lost in the FA Cup, which would be really disappointing as well. I think Carver might have thrown his hat in the ring for the permanent manager's job, but hasn't done too well so far in terms of that.
You mentioned their ambitions. They've been so inconsistent, haven't they? They're 10th in the league at the minute. If they finish around there, it's probably just about right, isn't it? But can you see them get anything from this game? Score prediction?
I can't. I mean, Chelsea, they've been off the ball a little bit, but at home, they've just been so good this season. I'm going to go for 2-0.
I'm actually going to agree as well. I say Chelsea are not in the best form, are they? But they do tend to win these games. They score early, don't they? Kill the game. So I'm actually going to go 2-0 as well. So we both see fairly comfortable wins for Chelsea. Thanks for joining us.